This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Morgan.
And good morning to all our readers.
Morning, readers.
There you go. So, we've been sent a T-shirt. I would read the letter, but it's in my bag. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get the letter in a minute.
It's nice, though.
It's all right. The producer's running to my aid. I say running. You know what I mean.
She got it out of your pocket.
Oh, this is from Steve at Viper Clothing, and he says, blah, blah. So when I say blah, blah, I don't mean it's rubbish. I mean it's quite praising.
Yeah.
As a fellow lover of the art of punning and a T-shirt printer, I was inspired to create the enclosed garment. So he sent me a T-shirt that's a pun.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. And it is two... they're either seals or sea lions.
Oh.
Now, I actually...
I've worked it out now you said that.
Have you worked it out?
Well, yes.
So it's two seals or sea lions on the top of a shed or a house.
I wonder what you could be associated with, which sounds slightly like sea lions.
Oh, you think it's sea lions on a...
Not she lions, three lions, darling.
I think it might be sea lions.
On a shed?
Three lions on a shirt.
On a yurt. Sea lions
on a yurt.
Well, thanks. You've killed the audience competition.
It just came to me.
There was going to be a prize of 2 tickets for the Euros final at Wembley. But now I'll have to have them for myself.
Can't fake it. Can't fake that we didn't just work it out.
Okay, well, that's it. Sea lions on a yurt. That's very...
Is it? Is that it? Do you think we've actually got it right?
I think we've got it, yeah.
We have.
Oh, okay.
So well done, Steve.
I wasn't certain that it would be right.
I'd much rather we got it.
Would you?
Yeah.
But I was at Whipsnade, which is...
I didn't know it was French.
Yeah, it's a club I go to. No, I was at
Whipsnade, I feel sorry for.
I was at Whipsnade Zoo, and only this week, and a lady told us at one of the talks the difference between a seal and a sea lion.
Oh, what is it?
It's not that straightforward.
80 quid at retail.
Yeah, it's...
I think I like the idea of... Can I put
they're
forward
a bit smaller than lions.
Oh, I thought, because of the lion waist that we often talk about on this show, I thought maybe it would be a bit more I love my curves, the sea lion.
No, sea lions are a bit smaller and their whiskers are a bit shorter.
And chewier.
But there's not a match. She explained that you could see that one was bigger, was basically the thing. But I'm sure there's other things. I mean, it was a very educational. I found out what a sitatunga was, which I mean, have you ever heard of a sitatunga?
No.
The great thing about the sitatunga is it's a kind of a antelope-y type thing. But they were all the other animals were out running around, and this one was just sitting. The sitatunga. Sititoma. Just sitting there. And I looked it up on Wikipedia, which obviously is one of the great inventions of the last 1,000 years. But isn't it interesting how since the internet, which is the information highway, generally I find people know a lot less than they did before.
Oh, absolutely.
How did that happen? Anyway, it describes... I thought, well, this one is ill or something. So I looked up the sitatunga. It said something like behaviour and all that began basically sedentary. This is how lazy the sitatunga... I'm sorry we got onto the sitatunga early.
Okay.
But, this is how lazy the sitatunga is. Among its main predators is the python.
Right.
Now, you've got to be pretty sedentary to be eaten by a... They don't chase you, do they?
Well, they
do.
They're lurkers, aren't they? This is what I don't like about the python. Just be honest with me if you want, if that's what you're after.
Yeah.
Come out and say it to my face.
Grow some legs and run after me. Is that what you mean?
Well, Well, there's that thing which may be an urban myth that,
Yes.
that
Oh, they
when
lie.
you first see them, they lie next to you and measure you to see if you'll fit inside them.
Love it.
They
I
don't.
That's what
Yeah.
they said. So a bloke said he was lying down. He realised there was a
Oh.
snake lying next to him.
To see
See if he'd fit. Like buying a sleeping bag
They make
the other
me
way around.
sick.
Many
What
regards.
horrible characters.
They are, yeah. There's no need for that, is there? They arrive
It's
on
so
some.
sneaky.
They arrive on some pretense you've won a free suit. Next thing you know. Anyway, the Sitatonga there. That's what you want on the radio. People who know stuff.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
We were just talking about sad songs.
Oh, yeah.
I was saying that whenever I got dumped,
Yeah.
I used to play the saddest songs I possibly could. I mean, I usually went Roy Orbison, who's basically
Right.
all his songs, the Big O.
Oh, I imagine
certainly
you in a room.
I certainly missed that. Yeah, the Big O. He,
Disgusting.
crying and stuff like that was.
Yeah.
But we were just saying that.
I think he means the song.
No, but also, I like him being dumped and being slightly basic going into the shop. You've got crying, yeah, that sounds good.
I already had them. I had them in waiting.
Yeah.
I was just saying to Emily, my plan was basically, okay, I've been dumped. Let's see how sad I can get. How low can you go?
Was that your policy? You see,
I would wallow.
I never favoured that. I always would adopt the, paint on the smile though your
Right.
heart is breaking
Oh,
approach.
okay.
You were playing Chumbawamba. I get knocked down and I get back up again.
Yeah.
Well, I would feel I couldn't even let myself go as far as I get knocked down. So I'd
Right.
have to rule that song out. I would go full on Beyonce, Everything You Own in a Box to the Left, I have to go uplifting anthem.
I would love if someone, if you dump someone and then you've changed your mind, phone them up, and in the background they were playing Chumbawamba. I get knocked out, or I will survive. Like, yeah.
What about you, Earl? I mean,
Oh,
I
I
know it's
don't-
been a while.
What would your song be?
Yeah.
It's
Did
a
you
long
have
time
one?
ago, and I haven't got feelings. And
Yeah, I've got that if you want to borrow it. Feelings.
I'm probably somewhere in the middle, like Radiohead
you?
or something, aren't I?
Oh,
You
Well,
wouldn't play
I'm
Radiohead
basically-
if you got
No, I
dumped.
wouldn't. But
I might play
I mean, I do
Greek,
listen
but
to Radiohead.
that's another story.
I'd play Radiohead if I was post-nuclear attack. Well, my new...
I think also angry songs. A bit of Fred Durst, a
What?
bit of...
Suddenly... That was
They're
a
not
song-
Angry Anderson.
Song by Angry Anderson.
Like, songs where people are angry with someone. I'm thinking off the top of my head, I'm sure, but you know what I mean. It's sort of
Well, it's not Why Will Survive, would you say that? was-
Alanis Morissette or whatever. Are you familiar with her work?
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I always thought she was very beautiful, I'll be honest with you.
Yes, a strange look came over your face when I
Yeah.
mentioned her that I didn't feel altogether comfortable with.
It's
Really?
made me on easy.
What happened?
I don't know. I just, there are some people that, there are people who are in very much in the public domain. They're in the sort of babe, beautiful,
Yeah.
heartthrob, whatever it is,
Oh.
male or female. They're in that seat. People talk about, like, Brad Pitt was there for
Yeah.
years. I didn't know anyone else who had Alanis Morissette in that.
Right.
Seat, but I thought, why isn't she regarded like, people put Pamela Anderson in the seat,
Yeah.
and she looked like, I don't know what she looked like. I hated her. I interviewed her twice. She's horrible.
Was she?
Oh, God.
And she did,
She
you
said
know,
This is what we're here for.
she
Frank.
favoured an
Come
ugg on the beach, and I never approved of
She
that.
wore an ugg on a beach.
She loved an ugg on a beach.
She said to me the second time she was on, because I said, when I first interviewed, she said, have I been on here before? I said, yeah, no, like a year ago. Anyway, we're talking for a bit, and then she stopped me and said, hold it. Now I remember doing this show. I remember the awkwardness. Oh, terrible.
Was Tommy Lee there?
No.
He seems nice.
Yes, I think it's... anyway, we shouldn't speak ill of the stupid. I think that's a general rule in life.
Frank Skinner on
on Absolute Radio.
409 has got in touch, Frank.
409.
Sea lions have visible external ears
Yes.
and have elbow joints.
There's one just come in.
Your dream audience member.
Yes, that's right. They can do. I'll tell you what. When a seal moves, it does that slight Man from Atlantis thing.
Oh, yeah.
Of sort of going squiggly in the sort of wriggly.
Mm-hmm.
But they have like a hip joint.
So sea lions have the
This is
external
a hip
ears.
joint.
Seals have more of the plain dome, the sort of midlife crisis in the convertible vibe.
Oh,
okay.
The sea lion has the visible external ears and have elbow joints,
Yes.
hence the clapping, whereas seals' flippers obviously don't bend. That's from Rosie on my way home after a night shift.
Thank you, Rose. It's a night shift, not at the zoo.
Doesn't say.
No.
But
No.
It's tempting to think that she's a zoologist.
Do they
or
have night shifts? I suppose they must have people there at night. What if it all?
What
a
about the
nocturnal
bats?
animal.
What about when the bats are having one of their legendary get-togethers?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Or owls. There's
You're right.
probably quite a lot of
Owls.
work at night in the zoo.
The
Thinking
night
about it.
owls?
Yeah. No, it's a good. Wow, never met anyone who worked in a zoo at night.
That'd
I
be
think
great,
at London,
wouldn't it?
At London Zoo, if I may mention London, forgive me, anyone who's listening in the regions.
I think you can mention.
okay, that's fine.
You can sleep in London Zoo, I think.
Wow.
You
Yes.
can have a sleepover.
I wanted to invite you, actually. We'll talk.
Whoa.
Ah.
Well, not just you and me and the meerkats. Obviously,
No.
I'd like Kath and Buzz to be present.
Me
In
and
fact, they're,
you and two silverbacks in a bed. Oh, wow. I'm a bit of a silverback myself nowadays, to be honest with you.
We've
you
also
can
had
sleep. Oh, sorry, Al.
no, we've also. I was going to do another learning moment that's come from the outside world. but
Do
we
it.
can- you both began sentences, and I'm
Well,
very
I just
happy
had
to
I'd like us
shelve
to
it.
do the radio show from the
People-
London Zoo, please.
Oh, that
People on
sounds
the
good.
radio
Ow.
who knew stuff.
If someone could organise that, a live broadcast from London Zoo, there you can stay there. They're lovely little cabins you can stay in.
Oh, sounds fun.
Oh, let's do it. The lions.
Sounds
Yeah,
great.
I wonder if they make much noise at night, the lions. They sleep, I think, 2/3 of their day.
They sleep tonight, I believe.
Yeah.
That's what I was
I've heard
told.
that.
Anyway,
Actually, I've
in the
got-
jungle.
Let me just look up the facts. Sorry, this is the forward to the.
Why did he?
Hold on, there's one other paragraph. Oh, sorry, everyone. I'm going. Holding
So
their
can I
ears.
just point of order, tight fit. The quiet jungle. The lion sleeps tonight.
In the jungle.
Is it the quiet jungle?
Isn't it the mighty jungle?
Oh, I think so.
Can the jungle be mighty? Sounds
Yeah.
like that's a personality trait.
Yeah,
I
but
think
I
tight
can't- I
fit's got
can't-
it wrong.
I think it's in the jungle, the mighty jungle. The lion sleeps tonight.
I think the quiet is the second. I think he comes in second with quiet. Anyway, I don't want to fall out with you over this.
I don't think it does. I think it sticks with
Okay,
mighty.
I think there's quiet second time, but you know.
Let's change the subject to, before this gets any tenser. We had an email entitled Eureka Moment. That's where somebody realises something that they should have known for years.
Yes.
It begins, I saw Frank perform in Brighton at the weekend, really enjoyed it. Was he glad that Uncle Fester finally shut up and let him get on with the show? I'm guessing that the
There was,
answer to that
there
is
was
yes.
a man that looked like Uncle Fester from the Addams family.
Was he a bit
Like a seal.
interrupty?
Is he a seal
he was
man?
all right. He was a man who arrived with some jokes, you know, that kind of
Oh,
audience,
that kind of character.
He was good, though. He joined in.
Good for him.
Oh.
Anyway, they continue. I had a eureka moment this week when my wife pointed out that you're not supposed to unwrap OXO cubes and crumble them with your fingers, but in fact, they open up into little sachets that you squeeze in the packet and then pour straight in the pan. Years of smelly fingers for nothing. Did anybody else
That's
know
the
this?
title of my
Shut up.
autobiography.
I knew. Stop that immediately.
Can I say, when we were children, when we were children, we used to eat those cubes.
Of course you did.
Our mum,
of course.
Yeah, I did as well.
my mum
Frank.
would say, "Here, throw us an OXO cube,"
would.
and we wouldn't squeeze it out of a sachet. We'd strip it to it so it was a cube.
I love those cubes.
I'm not sure the wife's right. I call her the wife. What's
It's Eddie Lodge.
I'd like to know what the people think.
I don't
Have
think
you ever
squeeze
eaten an
it.
OXO cube, Al?
I've never eaten one, but I used them several times.
I'm exactly like Frank. This is where our childhoods
In
collide.
fact, looking back,
Over the OXO cube,
I used
Only
I used to eat a lot of raw vegetables, which my dad would just take out the garden, take the soil off, and then I'd eat them.
Right.
And I also used to eat raw sausages and OXO. What I did, maybe we hadn't got a cooker. Looking back,
So you effectively had a roast just in your stomach.
I was a cooker.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Hello.
We've had a little bit of an OXO cube
Yes.
update. 245
Little bit of OXO in my
update.
Don't. Reminds me of my neighbours last week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were quiet this week.
Um,
I think they heard the show.
Frank et al.
I didn't.
No. My mum and sister crumble beef OXO cubes onto hot buttered toast. They both love it. I'm a vegetarian, but I do remember enjoying this as a child.
Well, I'll tell you something. This thing about you squeeze it out the sachet, I seem to remember there was an advert and it was something like the OXO sprinkle or something like
right.
that. And you'd see...
It was the late Linda Bellingham.
Was it?
Yes.
Was it Linda? Was it already
yes,
Linda Bellingham?
It was,
at that
and then
point?
there would be a close-up of the fingers gently squeezing. But they would squeeze the OXO cube within...
No, but I'm seeing it sprinkling so that it drops
Yes.
out in little bits. No, there was no sachet work.
No,
it was just
there was
in
no
the...
sachet chanté.
I love Linda Bellingham. I met her at a do one. She was so funny
Lovely
and nice.
woman.
And also, of course, she was in The Trial of a Time Lord.
I beg
She was
your
in what?
pardon.
Sorry. I've just got the Blu-ray of Trial of a Time Lord, the Colin Baker.
Oh, me too!
Oh, coincidence.
Oh!
Linda Bellingham in a fabulous sort of head thing that she wears. Anyway, more Bellingham later. What else is happening? Have we heard,
More Doctor Who later.
have we heard anything else from the outside
Well, I'll tell you what I'd like to share with you is, it's a thank you, really. Art and Hugh, who's one of our regulars, Frank, very talented artist, makes these pop art prints, and Art and Hugh sent us some fabulous pop art prints this morning.
He sent me two brilliant George Formby's, actually.
Two George Formby's. Al?
Oh, I got what's her name?
Diana Rigg. as
Diana
Emma
Rigg
Peel.
picture from who was the first person to do kung fu in a film or something. First
Correct.
Westerner.
He said he wanted Frank to have George Formby for the walls of your banjo ukulele room.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Al, absolutely right. For the Cox Sportif, a pop art print of Diana Rigg as Mrs. Emma Peel. The first Western
Why was she called
actress.
Emma Peel? This is one of those, those things that we do called big moments, facts that everybody knows, that you present as if it's nobody
Yeah.
knows it.
Although the booby trap of that is that I often don't know them, so I think this might be one of those as well.
Okay. Do you know why Emma Peel was called Emma Peel? Emma Peel, in case you don't know, there's a programme called The Avengers. And she was... I'll stand around. If you're there with children in the room, I'm about to use the word sexy. Be careful. And she was like the sexy... sidekick woman in a leather cat suit and all that.
Yeah.
Who did I don't know if it was kung fu, but certainly martial arts. Why was she
Kung Fu
called?
and the Elvis mark.
But why was she called Emma Peel?
Don't know.
Do you know?
No, I don't.
It was short for M appeal, man appeal.
Oh,
So
Really?
M appeal. I know. Imagine bringing that up in a meeting now. What if we name her after man
Is
appeal?
man appeal a phrase?
It used to be a big phrase, man appeal.
You see, I didn't know the original phrase. I just knew sex appeal. Apologies again for the second use of that word this
I'm
morning.
amazed
Oh my
you haven't
goodness.
heard of man
Man
appeal.
appeal, what's that?
Because you got it in buckets.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
579 has sent us an interesting message.
Oh, yeah.
Frank, M and Al, I used to eat OXO cubes as a child and I still do.
Good on you.
I'm in my late 40s.
Okay.
Think yourself lucky if that's your diet.
And then, well, do you think that's it?
You think salt would be all right? Must be all right for you after all.
They'll have a lot of tummy rumbles.
Must have with a glass of orange squash.
Oh,
No, that's gross.
What do you mean? Ooh, like that's nice.
I like the sound of that.
Well, all right, I'm going to have to take back my thought about the next sentence. Never met anyone else that did this until I met my husband. Love you all, darling.
See, that's how we find the right person
Yeah.
in life.
Well,
If they eat OXO cubes.
and drink orange squash.
If you meet someone who has a similar quirk,
Heady cocktail, that is
like
that.
that. When I say a similar quirk, I don't mean obviously Pauline. It's one of the
we
other
didn't
families.
think you meant that.
So you're going out with Pauline Quirk, and they're going out with like
Linda Robson.
Helen Quirk, who's a cousin who looks quite a bit like her.
Mm-hmm.
I got in the other night late. Yes.
What time was late?
Well, it was about
9:40.
one in the morning.
Oh,
It was
that is late.
Late for me. And, I sat down, I had a nice orange squash. And I thought to myself, is it too late for orange squash? It really felt that it's not a nighttime drink.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean it's not really a sort of 2019 drink. If I'm 100% honest
Dear
with you, Frank.
Deirdre, did I do a bad thing?
No, I don't think you did anything.
Squash has sort of died out now, darling. I don't know. I mean, obviously text in any fans, but I mean,
still
do
have
you,
a squash
What,
sometimes.
do you?
I thought to
Sometimes.
myself, if this was, say, a Ribena, which we could call a blackcurrant squash,
Sure.
I would feel that all right, because there's something about its purpleness which makes it of the night.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's a.
Whereas the orangeness of squash reminds me of the sun.
It's the sort of
That's
morning
what I
drink,
think
isn't it?
that's what I-
Orange.
I think
Orangey
orange-
drinks are very
oh.
morningy.
I would say you're right. Orange squash is your daytime friend,
Yeah,
and Ribena's your nightclubbing pal.
yeah.
We've all got them.
I remember I had a cleaner once, I know, and she was going to Ibiza for a week, and she had
Right.
she had her nails done like one orange, one yellow, one orange, one yellow, and I said that's nice, and she said yeah, sun and sand, which I thought was fabulous.
No, she was talking about your laundry pile.
Yeah,
Yes, I know what you mean. Sometimes in the evening, you see a hot chocolate. Similarly, if someone hot chocolate at 10 in the morning,
Yeah.
bit strange.
yes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you'd better be
But the
skiing or
squashes,
something.
Yeah.
What are the other squashes you can get there? You can't get apple squash.
Oh, you can.
Apple squash.
Yeah, we
Oh,
do.
shut
It's really nice.
I've never heard anything called apple squash.
Well, we get it, and my kids were really excited that I got some the other day. It's one of the few bits of good dadding I've got to chalk up in
Can
the
you get a
register.
melon squash?
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't know why squash is seen as so uncool, though.
Yeah.
Well, because
You know,
it's
you
quite
could-
70s, Frank. It's not very healthy.
If
That's
you were
right.
if we were in a cafe in LA now having breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
and someone said, "I'll have a OG, please," and they ordered an orange juice, that'd be fine, wouldn't it? Give me OG.
Yeah.
Actually, O.J. Simpson was known as the Juice, I believe.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Would he, if his name had been O.S. Simpson, would he have been known as the Squash? No, he wouldn't.
And you're suggesting if
Oliver
someone...
Sacks. Does anyone call Oliver Sacks the Squash because he's O.S.? No, that's my thing. So what would it be wrong if that same guy said, give me an orange squash, please? People think, what the earth has happened? Anyway, I think squash is getting quite a bad deal. And I also say I spent
agree.
my whole childhood not calling it squash. Squash was someone I picked up in my 20s. We always called it cordial.
Right.
So you'd have orange cordial.
Well, when I had my Scottish accent, we always called it diluting.
Oh, did
We
you?
would just say, "Can I have some diluting, Mum?"
That's
what
good.
I
Oh,
think.
you've made it sound like a very trendy energy drink.
If it was still called diluting, that gorilla that escaped from London Zoo and had 5 litres of Ribena would have known not to drink it neat.
Yes.
Apparently you weed purple for 3 days.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
We've heard from Debbie. We've been talking about OXO cubes this morning on Absolute Radio and orange squash. It's
Yeah.
like 1978.
Yes, whether we ate them, rather than just used them in gravy, whether one could. I also remember using them as a sort of a hot drink.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yes.
just putting them in boiling water and drinking that.
Did you ever try it with the? Did you ever go yellow instead of red? Terrible
Yellow?
mistake.
Oh,
the
chicken. Oh, no.
I tried it with the chicken, and you know what? I got the shock of my life.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a different anecdote for a
Yeah,
moment there.
exactly. It sounded
Tommy
like
Trouble.
sounded more like a police statement.
It really didn't deliver in the same
No,
way.
it's very watery, insipid thing, isn't it? The chicken stock.
I mean, it made me nauseous.
All chicken stock. You know when people boil the chicken and say, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'll make a bit of stock with that," it's always like,
Grey old bone in there.
yeah, just
Yeah.
have a glass of water, save a lot of gas.
Put in some squash.
Yeah, can
on
you
the
get chicken
gas.
squash?
I was saying to you off air, and then but I was reluctant to say this because it sounds good. But
Could they do that? Could they have things like tea squash or red wine squash, like concentrates of all these things that you just add water to?
red
It's
wine
amazing what they can do now, so I wouldn't be surprised
Tea
if the minds are
squash.
at work on it.
You just had boiling water. That'd make tea making much simpler.
We were sort of not really allowed squash when I was younger. I think it was seen in our house.
That's a big council house. Is that what you're going to say?
How dare you?
Okay.
Yeah. No, no, I'll tell you what. I think we saw it sort of as the kids that watched Tiswas would have
Right.
squash. Do you
Well-
see? The kids that watched ITV.
We had this thing.
You made a judgment.
We had
I
sterilised
didn't.
milk.
My mother did.
Can you still get sterilised milk?
I believe so. Can
It
you?
was sort of post UHT milk. It really was white water. That was the full flavour. And even my dad called that council house milk, and we
Did he?
lived in a council house. So
Sorry, I was
I mean,
mid
it
Debbie.
would work the other way, wouldn't it? Like,
Yeah.
when I was growing up, I would have definitely judged somebody if they had one of those silver Alessi orange squeezers things.
Oh,
'Cause
God, yeah.
I don't think I knew anybody
or
that
if they
that.
had a tantalus.
Who?
You know a
Yeah.
tantalus? Do you know what that is?
Don't know what a
I bet your
Yes.
family had a tantalus.
Ooh, what is a tantalus? Yes, I feel I know this. Is it a kitchen appliance?
No, it's
Oh.
more of a dinner party. Get the tantalus out.
Oh, is it like a
tantalus.
Lazy Susan type
I'll tell you
thing?
what it's like. You know,
Does it tantalise?
It does tantalise. I think there's is it Greek myth thing? There's a person called
yeah.
Tantalus who's tempted and can't remember the story.
Yeah.
But anyway, a stocks that they used to put people in for punishment with your head and arms.
Oh,
tied in.
yes.
Well, it's like that only with alcohol. It's like a wooden thing, and you can't get the alcohol out unless you've got the key. So the bottles are there, but tantalisingly, they're in like a little wooden thing that stops you from picking them up and pouring them out.
Oh, they'd be nice with some of your friends, Frank, in the old S&M.
Exactly, yeah,
They use-
exactly,
you borrow
exactly.
one
It's
of
a
those.
lovely Christmas gift.
Okay, so
Have
Deb,
you got a Tantalus? 8, 12, 15.
if so, please contact Frank.
Apparently, hold on now. Apparently, Dave Berry did that texting this week.
Debbie has. Can I say I'm a big squash fan now, though, as is often the case.
Oh, you do drink squash now?
Well, you know what? I do often think, again, as I was saying to you off air, I think, well, if I'm going to be bad, I'd always want bubbles.
What I love
I'd
about
always want the fizzy. However, as you pointed out to me, out of spring water.
Yeah, you do fizzy water with it. It's fine. Got everything. I like the fact that you're in control of the strength,
Yes.
which you aren't when you buy like orange juice. Comes in only one strength, as far as I know, pure orange juice.
What
Yeah.
a great way to look at it.
Yeah, that's it. It's all about, let's face it, as more and more control is taken away from us in the modern world,
Yeah.
let's hold
Yes.
on to squash.
Love it.
Yeah.
Debbie has said, when I was at school, my friend had an OXO cube in her lunchbox every day. And I do remember this myself. people
Yeah.
remember this. If we were lucky, she'd crumble a bit in our hand for us to have a taste.
Oh, man,
Les Miserables.
I wouldn't mind one on a sandwich, sliced. I might try that when I get home. I've decided I'm going to go home and watch Trial of the Time Lord now, just for some a bit of Bellingham in the courtroom.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Morning team, squash hasn't disappeared. It's been rebranded as pressé. Elderflower pressé is very much in vogue.
Oh, yes.
I had 3 elderflower pressés last night.
Big night for you.
It was. I was at the Mask of Orpheus at the English National Opera production.
Knocking back elderflower pressés.
Knocking back elderflower pressé and talking to Wayne Sleep.
Were you really?
Yeah.
This is again one of those nights that you had that sounds like a fever dream, but it's actually got real life.
It actually happened.
You know, I have a problem sometimes when I'm talking to people or with people that a song comes into my head inspired by them. Mm-hmm. Remember I told you I was with a guy who looked like John Lennon, and next thing I knew I was going, Martha, my dear. Mm-hmm. And he said, why are you singing that? And I had to explain. I think he was pleased, really. And also I did it with Eric Clapton when I sang the Layla riff.
Oh, I hated it when you did that.
He asked me not to sing. But anyway, last night...
So embarrassed.
Last night I was talking to Wayne Sleep, and there was just a slight... someone else came over and he was... And I heard myself going... Hold me closer, tiny dancer. And then I thought, no, don't sing Tiny Dancer to Wayne Sleep. He was very nice. I've never met the Sleepster before.
He was on one of those...
Tiny Dancer? He's small boy.
Very, very small man. Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
You could have him in a music box. Mm. Open it. And him dancing.
Oh, I'd love that. Keep him on my shelf.
He's probably done that as a sketch. I wouldn't
probably. Yeah. There was a while where I think it was the BBC did like a collection of old people go to somewhere foreign.
Oh, that like Magnolia Hotel.
That's the one. Yeah, he was on a few of those and seemed like he was very good company. He's likeable.
I warmed to Sid Little from that.
Right.
Wow.
Lovely man.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Even Sid Little.
Are you not a fan? He seemed very nice.
I'm sure he's very nice.
Frank, do you remember the Alpine Pop Man in the Smethwick area?
I do.
Or the Corona Man?
The Alpine Pop.
He used to deliver, it was fizzy pop. That's from Richard and Jane, who were at your show the other night and said it was absolutely brilliant.
There was a truck that used to bring pop to the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we could. But the bottles, the Alpine Pop, honestly, the bottles, I don't know what the actual thing was, but they were about 3 or 4 pints in them. They were the biggest bottles of pop ever.
So what, they would bring it to like a milk float or something?
Yeah, they'd be in a truck. Like they used to have another thing called Davenports that delivered beer to your house. And it was called, their thing was beer at home means Davenport.
Think of it as an early forerunner of Uber.
Yeah.
Of like Uber Eats.
Uber Eats,
Yes.
Uber drinks.
Yeah.
And Alpine's signature pop.
Deliver Yow, they probably called it.
Deliver Yow. Yeah. That's very good.
It was their signature pop was Pineapple-Aid.
Oh, wow.
Which I've never seen afore or since.
Well,
it was lovely.
That worries me. Wouldn't it taste, would it not? The trouble with the fruit fizz, sometimes it would taste like the pineapple had just gone off a bit. It's like fizzy milk.
Oh, yeah, when it gets fizzy. I told you I had fizzy ketchup in a chip shop last year, and I shook it up as one does ketchup, and it squirted in my eye. It was so... bubbly.
Can I just say, a lot of people are with you, Frank, on this squash. 987, I treat OJ a bit like squash, actually.
Oh, and put water in.
Precisely so that I can control the strength. If I'm at home, I always add water, usually about 30-70, in favour of the water.
Wow.
Which isn't that far off the 10-90 ratio I always use for squash.
Well, when I often...
What's your numbers?
Taking a very scientific approach.
I have to say, I'm more... I would say I'm more like 15-85, favouring water with squash.
Yeah.
I often, when I watch comedians...
Well, about 40-60 if I have squash.
Wow. No wonder you've got teeth.
Quite close to being like a child there.
In so many ways.
Be very careful of the children doing their own squash because they'll go full 50.
Yes, they'll just drink it neat. When I watch comedians, I always think... too much water, not enough Ribena. If it isn't quite funny enough, do you know what I mean?
Lovely.
The jokes is the Ribena for me when I watch a comic.
Should we call them? We'll have a little. I think I'll just call them diluting.
They're good performers, but a bit watery.
Yeah.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
013 has texted. In fact, somebody has also emailed us with this fact. We watched a documentary with the late Cilla Black, and her favourite was rubbing OXO cubes on fresh oranges.
Wow.
I wouldn't have thought that of her.
No.
Well,
It's an interesting trait of
I've
hers.
told you before, I think that my abiding memory of Cilla was seeing her leave her dressing room at London studios with everything, the tissues, those little molten brown shampoo things from the shower. I mean, she had took the soap, the whole lot piled up like she'd like a competition winner. And I like that she'd retained that, I'm having this feel to her. It was great.
We're getting a lot.
I'm going to try that.
I'm just saying we're getting a lot of people getting in touch with fond memories of the Corona Man.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the person who delivered. Lindsay Shaw says he delivered to our village shop. I used to live next door to a hotel with 2 golf courses. Fancy.
Wow.
And the guests used to put empty bottles in the bins on the tees. So as the kids, we would go around collecting them to get a 10p deposit back.
10p? Wow. I remember taking a pram full of bottles back, getting about 180. I couldn't believe it. That's when the drinking started, I think.
991 has texted, the best ever breakup song, ever breakup record, they've said, is What Makes You Cry by the Proclaimers. The dumped partner is completely delusional about how his other half feels after their separation.
Oh.
Now, part of the reason I've read that is that the Proclaimers, I think, are one of those bands that everybody that really knows them says, they're way more than those big pop songs, and I've still not got round to them.
No, I know what you mean.
Proclaimers fans?
I know what you mean, because those songs that we know are so absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and poppy and all that, but...
Well, you know what? They have
there's
such
more depth there, isn't there?
energy. That's what my grandmother always said about like heavy metal. Such energy.
Yeah. Shall we make that our maybe next year our New Year's resolution?
Listen to Proclaimers.
Is to listen to more Proclaimers album tracks.
And we can't go Route 1.
Proclaimers the B-side.
I already think that is not a Route 1 New Year's resolution for 2020.
No, but we can't start with Winner, Wake Up. No, that's off
we
the
have
menu.
We have to skip that and walk in 100,000 miles and all that.
Yeah.
And Letter from America.
I'll tell you what I like. I like the fact that we're on a rant for New Year's resolutions already.
Yeah, you can't.
Some people are planning Christmas.
I went past Liberty's this morning, the popular store in central London, and there's a big thing outside. Not like a sign. It's like a permanent. It looks like on the wood. It says Christmas shop, 4th floor.
Already.
So already,
It's coming.
So why not? Well, then they don't push the New Year's resolutions like they do. Gymnasiums should start pushing the New Year's resolution
Good
things.
point.
And of course HMV and having Proclaimers section.
Does HMV still exist?
I'm not sure if
Yes, I was in one recently.
Oh, okay.
They are. If you go
Really?
as I am currently doing now, if you travel,
You weren't doing a Mr. Magoo. Hey, I'm going in to buy a record.
Yeah, it was a phone shop. These CDs are kind of chubby. No, if I thought they'd all gone, but the great thing about touring is that you see Britain.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people in London I know have never been to Blackburn, for example. Have you been to Blackburn? No, and most people haven't. And touring is touring and watching West Bromwich Albion away is what's taught me about this fabulous country of ours.
No,
Why do you keep it so real, isn't it?
I spent a year going to a lot of Arsenal away games, and that's how I got to see this wonderful country of ours. It's true. I recommend it.
Yep.
Thank you. Good night.
I recommend you all do a comedy tour.
Yeah.
And have a real good look at the country.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
I was just laughing at the speaker's cat being called Order, which I enjoy.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's the speaker's. Oh, I
Order,
didn't know that.
Order, come on, Order.
That's the previous speaker, isn't it?
No,
Scottish
this speaker has adopted.
No, but he doesn't
the
do the Scottish.
He doesn't do
accent.
Scottish, but he does say that he does go Order, Order, Order.
Division. That's when Joy comes in to do the
Oh, yeah.
cleaning. Yes. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
My personal assistant said to me, "Your overflow
Oh, I love these
Is-
inclusive anecdotes.
is running." Well, everyone's got an overflow. It's running on the decking of the people that live on the ground floor flat.
Oh.
It was a very nice woman called Roberta, owns that flat. And my PA said, Roberta said, it's just every time you put your heating on, there's water running down onto her decking. Could you do something about it? And I texted back, am I getting a bit of flack from Roberta?
Oh, lovely.
Don't get
And
it.
she said, no, she's been really nice about it, actually.
Oh.
She should have said, oh, she's killing you softly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So I tried. And this is why I'm on tour, really. I need to be around people who are ready for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, for
They-
God's
they-
sake. The
they
poor
need-
woman has to work for you.
You know, they need to be, they need to be set, waiting for the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Anyway.
can't just pounce.
It's
Can you
gone now.
imagine working for Frank? I mean, it's not enough. Well, I do.
What's
But Frank, it's not enough that she notified you about that. It's the joke. It's always joking coming.
Well, there was
Joking
another.
coming.
Do you remember there was another incident like this when I asked her about 5 different questions on an email and ended with, what are the 39 steps?
Yes.
And she said, what is the context of the 39 steps? I need to stop being such a smart aleck. But life would be dull indeed. Without that.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to stop being a smart aleck, you might not be one of those people on the radio that knows things.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's not many of us left, let's face it.
We've had a correct show, only actually,
Oh, yeah.
if you're interested.
Oh,
Sure.
no. Oh, I'm always interested.
Dearest Emily, I believe Uggs were originally worn by surfers in the 60s/70s to keep their toes warm. So
Really?
usage on a beach is entirely appropriate.
Okay.
Shaming Pamela Anderson for choosing utility over style isn't cool.
Oh, wow.
Okay, do you know
That's
what?
a good take.
You've taken me down.
That's good.
I mean, I think Frank said worse about Pamela Anderson, to be fair.
She's a horrible person.
I thought,
And stupid.
I always thought that the cave people invented the og.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's got cavemen all over it.
Yes,
Or
I know
woman.
what you mean. It's got sort of 70s idea of cavemen. Yes,
Well, they
or
look
cave
like they're
people.
from the Flintstones, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, that's where I get all my caveman facts from.
Which I discovered this week was the Flint Stones.
What?
I always thought they were the Flintstones.
Oh.
What did
Meet the
you-
Flintstones.
what,
No, it's
what did you
definitely got
think
a T in it.
Flintstones were?
Oh, I just didn't see it as having 2 T's. I didn't.
Flint.
Yeah, I know. I was 4 when I first watched it.
I know.
Okay, I wasn't thinking, oh, this must be a clever pun on the word Flint.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's a. It's just that the Flint stone.
Flint and Stone, yes.
You thought it was some sort of Irish cave
I thought
people.
it was perhaps a name.
Flintstone.
Yeah, just Flintstone.
Wow.
Okay, I
Man.
do apologise.
I don't know what to say. I'll be all right in a minute. I'll be all right.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Emails? Have we
yes.
had
Well, you've,
emails?
Yes.
Texts?
Yes.
We've been discussing, it's not as route one as misheard lyrics, is it? We've been discussing
No.
lyrics that you thought were one way and then it turns out they're another way, but your way you think was better.
Yeah, you improve lyrics.
Accidentally improved lyrics. I don't know what
And
they
we've had a few of these. Now, it
We have.
began with me doing a thing from Rhinestone Cowboy, which was definitely better. When I heard the lyrics and thought, oh, that's what he says, mine was much better
Yes.
than that. And then we've had a couple.
So yourself.
Yeah, and a couple of people have sent in ones where they have definitely improved it. Now, interestingly, Aretha Franklin was the first one we had, which was from, I don't know the actual title, but is it called Say a Little Prayer for You?
Yes, I believe so.
And she talks about running for the boss.
I run for the bus, do you?
Yeah, and the person who sent it in thought how fabulous to be thinking of someone even as you run for the boss. And then it turns out it's when she's sitting on the boss, which is obviously you think of all sorts of rubbish. So it's around, and I like it. I mean, that one was a very well argued text. I like the idea that we, the non-professional songwriters, can have our moments when we make things better.
Well, we've had an email from Joe. Hi, Frank Cockrell and DVM, Divine Miss M.
Oh.
Your chat about Aretha Franklin's Respect last week made me realise I'd been singing it wrong.
Did you say DVM? Was
DVM.
Divine Miss M?
Yeah.
Oh, it should be...
Yeah, you're right.
DME?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I think what they're doing there, if I may be so bold, yes, I may, is they're just going for an approximation of my name. It's
Right.
almost like shorthand.
Okay,
I'm seeing that.
It's not a bullseye, but it's on the board.
Is it
that what we're going with?
Text speak.
Close.
Yes, let's let them off.
Close but no cigar, yes. I thought the lyrics were take out TCP, i.e. that you needed all healing liquid for the terrible treatment. And the letters TCP are in
I thought that.
RESPECT.
Do you see?
You see,
Take out
can
TCP.
I say?
Suck to me, suck to me, suck to me.
I went home last week and we talked about Respect by Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
And
It's a
someone
change in your house.
and someone had, and someone had sent in saying this thing about mishearing the lyrics, and I didn't really understand. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And I did that thing of smiling and pretending I'd got it, which
Oh,
I
really?
hate. I always
So
like to tell
unlike
people.
you.
Yeah.
And I went home and I thought I didn't really understand.
Do you understand now?
Does she say? There's a bit where she goes, Ari. I thought she
Can I tell
spelled
you?
out. Go on, yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
be slow.
RESPCT. Find out what it means to me.
Yeah.
RESPCT. Take out TCP. Suck it to me, suck it to me. Do you see? So what she
what's it
actually said was take care TCB. Take care of business is what I believe it is.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought
wow.
you said then take out TCP.
I did,
Yeah.
because I was
Okay.
referencing the email
Illustrate
we
the point.
received on the 14th of October 2019. Thank you. Your witness.
Okay. Your Honour, I hardly think that TCP, which may not even be available in the United States, and if it is, will be called something like Pempermule. I hardly think.
You're so good at naming things.
I hardly
Lying.
think that Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, is going to bring up some sort of pharmacy item in the midst of a fierce diatribe about being disrespected.
Well,
Your witness.
Your Honour, I would agree with what the Honourable Gentleman says. However, I did, as a teenager, definitely make a similar error. I genuinely thought it was a reference to TCP. I understand what you're saying. However, I wasn't sophisticated enough to make that cultural leap.
Okay.
Thank you.
So she actually says TCB, as in taking care of business.
Yes, which I believe is...
Well, it's something that Elvis Presley took up as a sort of a...
Talking of Elvis Presley, are you familiar with the work of Hamburger James?
No.
Oh, I've only come across his work recently. He was someone Elvis employed solely to get hamburgers.
Brilliant.
And he was called Hamburger James.
Oh,
I think
okay.
things might have ended badly. I think there were guns or something. I'm not
I should
sure.
hope so. Goms, maybe. No, I don't. That doesn't ring any bells, Hamburger James. I thought I knew most of the inner circle.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Sorry, it was quite a detailed and complicated link in many ways. I've got also a lyric thing, but let's go now, because the producer not only is waving at me, but a small trail of blood is coming from one of her ears. That worries me.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, it's been a big week for, I want to say, your people, because there was a Good Samaritan story this week.
Oh, yeah.
When I say your people, I obviously mean...
What, the followers of the Nazarene?
correct.
Okay.
Did either of you see this story? It was someone had lost their wallet and it was reunited with them via a Good Samaritan, but it was an ingenious technique used.
And it's
Feels so good. Feels so good.
Does it? Okay.
Then it gets understood.
I missed rehearsal again. This week. It's really frustrating.
Another week.
My scheduling conflict.
So, by the way, can I just ask you a question? Read the original the OG. What did it with the OG? Did some people turn him down? Did some people turn the man down? Is that
Yes.
what happened?
A man gets beaten up by brigands and he's lying on the street. I mean, it could happen, let's face it. It's got modern context.
Yeah.
And
You say that.
Still
I
trying to
believe
deal with the brigands,
the
aren't we?
street was called
Yeah.
the Way of Blood. If you are going to walk down a street called the Way of Blood, you take your chances.
Do you know what?
there's a lot of brigands
I
about.
had a similar problem years ago. There was a story about some people that had been captured by pirates and they'd sailed their boat down the Straits of Pirates. And I was thinking, well, come on.
Is
Yeah.
that Alan?
There comes some point where you have to
Captain
take
Allen.
responsibility, doesn't it?
I think people think, well, they wouldn't call it that if it actually... we know it's that double bluff. Yeah.
We thought he was safe. Anyway, sorry, you were telling me about the OG.
Yeah,
Samaritan.
two people cross over the road, including a priest,
Oh, come
and
on,
leave
mate.
him. And then the Samaritan, who's like the sort of, the foreigner, if you like.
I want to know what love is.
Yeah, he goes over. Not only helps the guy,
so
but
kind.
puts him into
Uber.
lodgings to recover. No, not
Right.
puts him into lodgings and says to the gaffer of the lodgings, "Here's a few extra bob if he needs any extra things. Just make sure he gets him right." And then he goes.
Nice.
He's a daddy warbucks.
It's a bit more than a wallet retrieval, but even so.
Right.
Having said that,
This story, I should say, is cyclist-based. And
It is, I'm
every
sorry,
time
yeah.
I read a cyclist-based story, I always think, I bet Owl's read this. I don't know why.
I do. I always think, Al, yes, I do.
Barely even cycle these days, but I do. I consider myself a user of that
Yeah,
as a
I
mode
still
of
think of
transport.
you as...
Well, every time, it's funny you should say that, because every time I read a wallet-based story, I think I bet Al would like this.
Oh, because I'm frugal. I thought you were referring to that time that I told you about when somebody told me that they found wallets disgusting. This was somebody who used a money clip, and I got my wallet out, which is a big folding thing with receipts spilling out, and they went, "Oh my God, that makes me feel sick." That was what they said
Oh,
about my
wow.
wallet. It was that
And
bad, apparently.
Actually,
No, that was that spider on it.
God, Frank saw a wallet this morning. Only this morning he was
Oh, yeah, the
looking through the
Liverpool
paper.
FC
It was
one.
advertised, wasn't it? And
In
you
one
were
of the-
questioning.
In one of the tabloids, The Sun, I think, this morning,
Yeah.
there's a Liverpool FC wallet for sale, and it gets a whole page, and they got nothing to show, so there's just a small wallet in the middle of a big page of writing. And I thought, if I wanted a Liverpool FC wallet, I bet I could walk to any market now.
Yeah.
I could go online, there'd be 500 of them. Go to a club shop, I mean... This thing, as if you won't believe what we've got here. A
Also-
Liverpool FC wallet.
It's brown leather, we should say. It's not even
Yeah.
red. Not even club colours.
No,
And you can barely see the "You'll Never Walk Alone."
no, it's the
Logo.
idea that some people might like quite a subtle one.
Yeah.
Even so, not a one-page advert in the tabloids for a Liverpool FC wallet. I mean, what are you talking about? Even when they have when they have a plate with Rudyard Kipling on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think, well, it's weird, but it's an unusual thing. But
Yeah.
a Liverpool wallet, what are you talking? It's like when they advertise trousers as if it's a new thing in Saturday tabloids. Oh, these trousers, and it's one in today.
Oh,
that says-
shoes.
it said something
Shoes.
like fine quality corduroy. So, who measures the quality of corduroy? Just,
Do you know what I'd love to do?
ridiculous.
I think that'd be a great challenge to exclusively buy your wardrobe from tabloids.
Oh, that'd
Yeah.
be fun.
that would be good, yeah. And obviously, and your money carrying devices as well, and plates. Or when someone come round your house for dinner, they'd be eating off like a Sir Christopher Wren memorial plate.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
So this cyclist, he's cycling down. He's looked up. He's cycling down the road,
Tim Cameron.
and his wallet. Where do you keep your wallet when you're cycling, Al?
Oh, I would keep it either front pocket or in the bag.
But do you
zipped up.
cycle in Lycra ever?
Oh God, no.
Okay, that's the problem. I think I'm guessing
Yeah.
this guy's in Lycra. Doesn't
Oh,
it?
I pictured him more as a commuter type.
Me too, 'cause
in
it
perhaps a
felt-
rolled up chino.
Out of his poche, did it not? It fell out of the pocket.
I
Yes.
thought it might be because there's not much in the way of pocketry.
Oh, why did you
on
think he had it?
Right.
I imagine they have some zip pocket thing on the
Yeah.
sleeve. You know, people runners
Or the
and that
back.
carry things on their sleeves.
Uh-huh.
Well, it fell off the bike.
Yes. And then the chap found it.
If this is because
Are you referring to
cyclists,
Simon Byford?
I am the chap.
isn't it because cyclists have got butch? They used to be gentle and bookish, and now they've got butch and muscular because of the Olympic successes.
This is the thing you bring up often, isn't
Yeah.
it? That your dismay at the change of the cyclist.
Yeah,
Yes.
because and in the old days,
Erroneously, may I say, in my opinion.
Do you
but,
think so?
Yeah,
You
I'm
think
afraid so. Yeah.
I'm afraid that's because you know you're in the catchment.
Well, I think there's a whole. It's what is it? The cycling community is a broad church. I think.
It's a broad
Okay.
church, but it's had some new people come into it which didn't used to be around.
It's
Maybe.
more, I would say, cyclist. I would think Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Would
Sort of
you?
the skinny type going
I
around.
think he's got a penny
the
farthing, if
quads.
I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I would have once associated was thin and a bit spindly.
You see, I think Chris Hoy now.
Well, now,
Muscle,
Yes.
oh, I'm
adrenaline.
going the rock
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what the new breed, they won't have the wicker basket
No.
anymore. They eschew the wicker basket on the
Yeah.
front. That would have been perfect for the wallet.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So in a way, this bloke is a victim of his own testosterone.
And the dog,
Probably.
the Toto basket.
Yeah, the little dog sitting in the front, going
Yeah.
through the village. Morning, Mrs. Baxter. Morning. All that's gone. Now it's you're crossing a zebra crossing straight. Just miss you.
We should explain what happened.
Going to a
though.
meeting
Go
about
on.
platforms.
Let's explain what's happened.
So he found the wallet, and then he had a limited
Byford.
amount of information to return it to its owner, but he knew that they would want it. So he had some bank
can I
cards
ask you
in
a
the.
question?
One bank card, Al.
Was it
That's
one?
all he had.
Can I ask you a question? Do we know how much
Sure.
money was in the wallet?
I don't
I
think.
thought I'll be asking that.
I don't think there was much.
No, all he discovered was a bank card, I believe.
So he thought without the bank card he's going to have problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
he was trying to save him some admin
Okay.
and maybe even a little bit of sentimentality if there was stuff in there.
Can I just say, at this
perhaps.
point, I would have taken it straight to the bank.
Would you have? Oh.
Then I believe I
Interesting.
have done that before. Thank you.
We're living in a
I think
flat.
I'd have just riffled through it, taken the notes out, and thrown it in a nearby skip. But we're all different. We're all
I'm
different.
enjoying riffled. 8:12:15, I think, on that.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We're talking about the Good Samaritan.
Yes, and 829 has been fabulously relevant
Okay.
because they've texted regarding my worst thing ever. Good Samaritans.
Okay.
I always thought a Samaritan was the name for someone who did good deeds.
It's
But apparently
someone from
Samaritans-
Samaria.
Right. Well, apparently Samaritans are a race of people.
Yes.
Only 600 pure Samaritans left.
I think Jesus was making the point that, you don't like, you moan about the foreigners, but here's the
Right.
story, and you see you can't judge things like that. You got to judge individual acts of kindness.
Okay.
Okay.
And so this chap found the wallet of the cyclist.
Oh, Simon Byford.
And then to let him know, he had to come up with a way of getting in touch with him. And so...
Was it on the? It was just on the road.
He
Was it?
found it
road,
on the
yeah.
road, and
Was he a
it's-
passer Byford?
yes.
Okay.
Very good. And so he worked out, I could pay him and it will show up on his online banking. And so he made 4 1-pence payments and put in a little message.
Nice friend for you, Al.
Yes.
I must admit, now, I've never felt older than when I read this part of the story.
Why?
Because I just didn't understand how you can put money into someone else's account and leave a message. It's
Yeah.
right.
It's not
Technically,
that you're old, it's that you're a celebrity and you have a personal assistant who does
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd put money into someone else's account, and
Yeah.
there's a box for you to put a comment in.
Well, it's a reference.
It's a ref. So it says, if I was giving, let's say I was giving you money.
Say if you were putting £5 in my account,
Okay.
what would you
If
have?
I was paying for 90% of your haircut or something,
Yes.
I would say...
What would be the purpose of the comment box?
Well,
Well-
things I want to say, but let's leave. No, so the purpose of the comment is so that it would show up on your online account and it would say M haircut.
Yeah.
Do you see? So you know.
She could
That's
do that.
handy, isn't it?
Or if
That's a good idea. What do they think of next?
yeah, sometimes you might put INV. I do this sometimes. If I'm paying an invoice, I'll put the name of the number of the invoice on there. Say, paying an
Lovely idea.
accountant.
How lovely.
Invoice 163024.
And this is
or
for
whatever.
your help, so that when you look at your bank account, you'll know what it's all
I
for.
think it can
And
help
then
both parties.
This is the beauty of it as
Wow.
a system.
It's brilliant.
It's a fabulous,
yeah.
a fabulous mechanic.
It's a real pleasure bringing you into the real world sometimes on this
Thank
show.
you. Well, I
sometimes.
mean, that's very
You
clever.
learn so
Wait
much
till we
from
explain
us.
to him that this is being digitally streamed some places.
And wait till he finds
Take
out
that
wait till he finds out BHS has closed down now. So he placed this deposits in the
How
account.
many characters?
18.
Yeah,
So that's the only problem. You can't say.
I do have a little problem with how he went about it.
Well, I had a problem because leaving 1p in someone's account is disgraceful. I couldn't.
it
I would
4
have left
times.
£4.
Yeah. Why did he do it 4
Outrageous.
times?
Well, because
He's only got 18 characters.
he said, "Hi,
Well,
I
he's got
found
multiple
your."
personality disorder.
He said, "Hi, I found your."
Was
and
the
then
first
in the second one, wallet in the road.
No, but hold on.
Okay.
Then the phone
Oh,
number, and then the last one, text or call.
Yes,
There you go.
but hold on. I know I represent the past in this conversation.
Past times.
Very much.
But I have got some sense of this move towards text speak and
Yeah.
abbreviation. I could have done this in wallet and my phone number in one hit, and wouldn't he have called me thinking someone's found my wallet?
I think he probably thought that was too concise, and maybe he wouldn't join the dots and phone the number.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
I'll-
on. If you lost your wallet and someone sent wallet and a phone number, you'd phone that
I
number.
still think.
I'll
I think
handle
in
him.
the road is ridiculous. Who cares where you found the wallet?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I would have
Could have
started
saved yourself
with
1
stop.
pence right there.
I would have sent £1, not 1p. It's disgraceful, and I would have said stop, because then I think or help. I would have said
Help! I'm trapped in your computer.
but help would have got his attention, like the numbskulls.
Yeah.
Help me!
It's like Tron. Oh, wow.
You definitely look at that. If someone said help me,
No, just say wallet, phone number, and you've lost your wallet, and you think, oh, great, someone's got my wallet.
no, I could think, oh, that was a wallet I bought as a gift.
Wow, what, that Liverpool FC one?
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
He got the wallet back.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you
And
put, I found your wallet in the road, call this number, and he sent him too many messages for me. I think he could have done it in 3 pence.
I'm thinking 1.
You reckon? 1?
Like I say, wallet, phone
I've
number.
got to be honest, though. Having read this, I did also think I cringed a bit at how transactional the communication was. I mean, I would have to say, hi, my name's Emily.
Not in an emergency.
No, I would say, oh, you're never going to believe this. Oh, my God. I mean, I'd end up giving £100 because I'd have to extend the story.
Well, me and my friend, this would be 1972, found a wallet with 80 quid in it.
Brilliant.
Wow.
And
What
all we
worth
had was,
today?
all inside was a wage slip that had the person's name and their national insurance number on it. And we decided that we simply didn't have enough to go on. So we had 40 quid each. Yeah. I always think that because I couldn't buy material items, although I did buy 2 deluxe Batman and Superman comic collections. Other than that, I thought we'll have to spend it on drink, otherwise our parents will think, well, where are these objects?
How old were you, by the way?
15.
That was a lot of money.
It was, yeah. I think it might be where I developed my initial drink problem. So, sure enough, honesty probably is the best policy.
Yes, that was your karma tax.
Exactly.
Beware the found wallet.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
it was.
civic duty.
But I
This.
tell you what, it's
Confucius
exciting.
said that to me.
Yeah.
Man
tell you what,
beware, wallet he finds.
I found that 80 quid, and then a couple of weeks later, I found like 30 quid in a toilet. And then I found a tenner in the street, all within about 6 weeks. I really
You had
thought,
a right run of it,
I
didn't you?
thought, oh man, this is what life's going to be like.
Hashtag blessed.
Yeah, exactly.
What year was it when you found that money? It's 1972.
72, yeah.
Oh, God. If you'd carried on at that rate for another month or two, you could have bought an end terrace, probably.
The reason I ask is that I've just put that into the inflation
Easier for the Alpine man to park up.
Well, I've just put that into the inflation calculator, which is something I like to use. And can I tell you what that would have been worth now?
80 quid then?
90 quid.
£1,036.
What?
Yes. So you and your friends spent £500 on comics. Shame on you.
Might drink.
Well, mainly drink. 2 comics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know,
A grand.
look, it was tremendous experience. I mean, I don't want to diss it in any way. It was brilliant. You know, and I obviously now, since I found a purse with 35 quid in years later, and I took that to the police station. And they said if it's not claimed in, I think, 6 weeks, you get it back. And I went past 6 weeks later, and there it was. The woman hadn't claimed it, so I had I say woman. Forgive me for stereotyping. So I got that 35 quid, honestly, and that didn't do me no long-term harm. Again.
Except for your reputation.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know I still use this purse? Everton FC is the logo.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
We've just had a text. We've been discussing this found wallet returned by the Good Samaritan, which, if I may say, has spun off into a found wallet conversation.
Okay.
You found wallet and shared 80 quid, didn't you?
I do.
You said that in a very me Tarzan. You found wallet,
I
me
sound like
Jane.
accusatory policeman.
Hi, Frank and team. 40 years ago, at the tender age of 17, me and my mate found a wallet containing over £100. It had a name and address inside, so we did the right thing and returned it to its rightful owner, who rewarded us with the grand sum of £1 each. Now coming up to 57, I have always, since that moment, followed the unethical and marginally criminal road in my life, and I'm now an extremely successful businessman. Lesson for your readers there. Many thanks. Anonymous for obvious reasons.
Branson.
We should say, we were referring earlier to the Liverpool FC wallet, Frank.
Yes.
That we saw this morning in one of the tabloids. We refer to it as the Sun. Our readers, they don't miss a trick, our readers.
No.
MK Knight, Ducati Pie and others have all tweeted us to suggest that it's somewhat inappropriate that a Liverpool fan would be buying anything from the Sun.
No,
Good point.
yes, it would be very bad marketing to put your
Yes.
Liverpool merch in the Sun.
Yes.
So, no, it is in the Mirror. So
Okay.
there you are. And
Thank you,
can I
readers,
say-
for being on the ball,
And
as ever.
if you want one of these leather wallets for the Liverpool badge, and there are 2 large compartments, 5 credit card slots, 2 slip pockets, and an ID window. And I'd say one of the things about things held in papers, if you name the most basic elements of any one of these things as if they're extras. Trousers thing says like two pockets.
Do you think
we'll take hands big enough for your hands?
Do you think they also had and a free little packet of silica gel?
Yes.
Complimentary silica gel.
not
yeah,
eat.
small
Yeah.
extra leather tab that says made with genuine leather. How much do you think the wallet is?
Oh, I love questions like this. Alan, you go first.
I usually go ludicrous,
Go on.
but I'm not going to do that.
Oh, I love his
No.
rapping work.
Normally, when people say how much do you think something is, I say £800.
Yeah, exactly. Kill
But I'm
it
not
off.
going to do that. I'm going to go £16.99.
Okay.
My turn?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a bit nervous. Hello, first time caller, Frank. I'm going to say 21.50.
Well, it's $59.98. And hold it. Hold
Oh,
it. Plus,
ow.
plus, you'd have nothing to put in it once you bought it.
They think they're selling me a suitcase.
But then it says $6.99, and then it says shipping and service. Offer applies to UK only. What are you doing, Manchester Ship Canal?
Basically,
Where are you shipping it within the UK?
so it's basically, you're getting on for, what's that going to cost you? What was the original price? 51, did you say?
No, $59.98 plus.
70 notes.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if they win the championship, the Premiership rather, not they're not going to win the championship. If they win the Premiership, then maybe that could be your big splash out
I'd
thing.
want it made out of Jurgen's old teeth for that.
Yes, it's
That price.
yes. But still, there it is. I think we've done a nice advert for it.
Yeah, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it said a thing. Can I ask you one other thing before we go out? And
Sure.
It says that it has RFID blocking technology which protects against electronic theft.
Oh, right.
So maybe that's where the money comes from, just
Yeah.
trying to be fair.
Okay.
Okay. And thanks for listening to us. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.